Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is MegaShadowFist, and welcome back to Ace Attorney Justice for All. Now, when we last left off, some crazy things had happened. A certain someone, made an appearance at the end of the last episode, and I mean, you should know who it is, assuming that you've been watching previously before. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and go, we hit continue and go from save point. Edgeworth! Yep, Edgeworth finally makes his frickin' appearance. Well, actually, he made an appearance at the end of the third case, but this is his first appearance, you know, outside of a cutscene type thing. Anyway, so, Edgeworth! It's been a long time, right? This person! This is Mr. Edgeworth? What am I doing? What am I going to do with you? Still blaming others when things go wrong. You haven't changed a bit, Francisca. You! How dare you show your face to me without a shred of shame upon it! You have soiled the Von Karma name and dragged it through the mud! Run away with your tail between your legs like the ill-bred dog you are! Are you talking about the Von Karma family creed? To be perfect in every way. I think I'm making his voice a bit too deep. Like, it's supposed to be deep, but it's not supposed to be like, yeah. It's gotta be different. Are you talking about the Von Karma family creed? To be perfect in every way. Then let's hear it, Francisca. How are things going? I hear you are having a rough time maintaining perfection in this country. You seem to be getting crushed under the weight of it all. That's why I came back. Keep your assumptions to yourself! I haven't given in yet. I won't lose! This case is mine. I'll never hand it over to you. Never! Mr. Phoenix Wright! I will see you tomorrow, in court. It will be a clinical lesson of the meaning of total victory. Still the same wild mare she always was. Interesting. Actually, I feel like his sprite looks different. I don't think I've seen him make this face before in the other game. Without further ado, let's go ahead and talk as opposed. So, tomorrow's trial. I thought you, the prosecutor, Miles Edgeworth, had gone and died! Mr. Nick! I never wanted to see you again! I think that's enough of a warm welcome for someone you haven't seen in a year. Are you going to run tomorrow's trial? You heard her, right? That wild mare hasn't given in yet, it seems. So no, I don't think I'll be making an appearance. Your hatred for me is quite unhealthy, not to mention one-sided. But I will say one thing. You can't win on your own at the trial tomorrow. What is that supposed to mean? What do you think it means, Phoenix? I have something definitive that you lack. And that's the definition of teamwork. It's the power to find the truth. The truth? In order to understand this case, you have to understand a certain truth. Well, if you ever feel the need for my assistance, it is available to you. I'm not in charge of this case, so I can be a bit more generous with information. Just what is going on inside his head? Proof of Von Karma blood. A lot of things may have happened, however, Manfred Von Karma was still my mentor, and a perfect win record is proof of a Von Karma. 1 year ago, you could not establish guilt in a few cases. Are those losses the reason you suddenly disappeared from the prosecutor's office? Did you leave because you had lost your perfect win record? To think your motivation for prosecuting trials was so selfish. It'd be better for everyone if you never came back from the dead, Edgeworth! I see. Then let me ask you something. Why do you stand in the courtroom? What is your reason? Well, we explained this already, right? You know, it was like, I was unfairly blamed, or Phoenix was unfairly blamed for stealing, like, Larry Butts' stuff, and Edgeworth was like, no, you need to have proof and whatnot, right? Why stand in court? That's why. Why stand in court? Well, if it was Francisca, she would almost definitely say, I will defeat you this time! The instant she saw me. But the courtroom is not a personal battlefield for prosecutors and lawyers. I stand in the courtroom to defend my client, to save their lives. Save your client, you say. Those who think only of their own ego-driven goals. Those kind of prosecutors are reprehensible to me. Even if you're a prodigy, or someone like you, Edgeworth. It looks like there is still a lot you have yet to learn. A lot I have yet to learn? Me? Well, that's enough for now. The time when you will see is coming soon enough. What do you mean by that? Okay, so first and foremost, let's go ahead and start presenting. This is the first time that they've played this song before, but hey, Edgeworth! You know, I know we've duked it out a couple times in the previous game. You know, I had to defend you in the 4th case of the previous game. And, you know, you helped me out at the end of the 3rd case. Oh, without my knowledge, you know, to help me beat Franziska. But are you aware that I am a lawyer? I have no interest in talking about useless evidence. Put a little more thought into what you show me, Phoenix Wright. Still as stuck up as ever. Okay. The Nickel Samurai. Nope. Actually, hold on, like, look at this. This is the face that he did. This is the face that I remember seeing the most when we had to defend him in the previous game. That's the one that I remember the most. Alright. Press conference ticket. Nope. Nothing as usual, Mr. Prodigy. The person who became a prosecutor at just 20 years old. This might come as a surprise to you, but I am only 20 years old. Actually pretty impressive. Like, I remember mentioning this, I believe in, yeah, it was in Bayonetta. I was like, I turned 20 in September, at least at the time of recording this, September 2015. Could you imagine, it'd be like me, someone like me, my age, becoming a prosecutor. That would be pretty gosh darn intense, because I mean, it's not easy to become a prosecutor. You have to go through college, you have to go through law school, and all sorts of other stuff, and it's just like, whoa. I don't think that's technically possible in the US. In Japan, from what I understand anyway, from what there's no such thing as, like, law school or medical school, per se. Like, not in the same way that we do. It's like you go straight into studying medical and law stuff. So, I could see how it's possible at 20 in Japan, but not in the US, since this English localization takes place in the US, officially anyway. That's what we're gonna go by, my FA. We are looking into leads, but we can only look into a few key players with our limited resources. There's no reason for us to waste our energy investigating this person. Why don't you just tell it to me straight and say, I don't have any info? What do you have to say about Pearlfey? He's just... I'm disappointed, Edgeworth. I expected you to be a lot more useful than you are. You haven't said a goddamn thing about anything. Willpowers. Okay. Nothing about that. Okay, what about Lotta Heart? Nothing to say about that either? Okay. Juan Corrida. Oh, there is an interesting rumor about this man. You mean the one about Mrs. Andrews, or Miss Andrews getting close to him? But that's pretty common tabloid fare, isn't it? Excusez-moi. I don't take things at face value when there's more to be found. Okay, well that wasn't too useful. Madangard. While I was abroad, these deplorable types of actors became popular, I take it. Well, refreshing like a spring breeze is his motto. Refreshing? And what is so refreshing about a spring breeze? Sounds like the pollen is not treating him well this year. Security lady, Wendy Oldbag. I mean, they have come into contact. I mean, she was a witness in the 3rd case of the previous game, so obviously she had to talk to Edgeworth. Adrian Andrews. Adrian Andrews. She holds a large secret within herself. A secret? You can't help but feel that this whole case revolves around her. I know, I can agree with that. Franziska von Karma. From Germany! I will defeat you, Mr. Phoenix Wright! I just love doing that voice. You know, like... You know, hold on. Celeste Impax, deceased female, was Andrew's mentor and Corrida's manager. Killed herself 2 years ago. This woman is another key to the case. Do you really think so? She was Adrian Andrews' mentor a long time ago. But suddenly, she was called away by a production and became Juan Corrida's manager. And then, a few months later, Celeste Impax died. But her death was a suicide, right? Yes. But there is still one riddle left unsolved. A riddle? Her suicide note. It went missing. No one could find it. A suicide note that just vanished? That just vanished, huh? Alright, Miles Edgeworth. To age 25, male, a gifted prosecutor, he disappeared suddenly a year ago. Okay, come on, Edgeworth. I wonder if he has, he has anything to say. You know, like Kratos, for example, like, he has, the Colette voice. For me, it's my Lady Von Karma was missing suicide note. Miss Impact's note was most certainly a suicide. Of that there is no mistake. However, we could not find her suicide note. That's when the police began to suspect that someone had hidden it. The suicide note? But how do you know Miss Impacts had even written such a note? There was no solid evidence, however. We did find traces of ink on her right index finger, which makes the likelihood of a suicide note very high. But who would hide such a Who do you think? The police think it was Mr. Juan Corrida himself. Actually, that's not who I thought. The victim? Well, that would explain why Adrian Andrews is trying to get so close to Juan Corrida. It's to get the victim's note. Holy poop! She hung herself. All right. He was the one who found her. That's Edgeworth. He was the one who found her body, which makes him the only person who had a chance to hide her suicide note. Mr. Corrida hid his own manager's suicide note? But why? As long as her note is missing, any speculation beyond this is meaningless. For now, I think you should look this over. This is the suicide report. Part 1 anyway. Part 1. Suicide report added to the court record. And then, you know, like my friend Nobi, he has the Misha voice, which, by the way, my friend Nobi is doing a playthrough of, actually, he's doing 2 playthroughs right now. 3, actually. He's doing a playthrough of the Sonic Adventure 2 Chow Garden, Binary Domain, and Assassin's Creed, I think Brotherhood. Anyway, I'll leave a link to his Binary Domain playthrough, because that's his main one, is Punishment LP. So I'll leave an annotation right here if you're interested in watching it, and that'll be that. Let's go ahead and suicide report. Deceased Celeste Impacts found by Juan Corrida. Was her suicide note hidden? Present. I don't like to look through reports. I like suicide reports even less. Worst of all are the reports that have multiple parts like that one. That is 2. 2 parts? What you just handed me is the first part of the report. Here is the second part. Is that what? Why did you just hand both of them at the same time? The second part of the report is about an attempted suicide. The attempter's name. It's Adrian Andrews. Miss Andrews? What did she do? She tried to kill herself? Well, honestly, that doesn't surprise me in the slightest, actually. She doesn't seem like the kind of person to try and kill herself. Yes, she does. I mean, at least I thought so anyway. You think she's a strong career woman? That is just her image. Adrian Andrews. She has a certain secret she's always trying to hide. A secret? Her codependency. That's the key word. Codependency. The word most unsuited to describing that woman. What do you mean by that? Well, yeah, that's right. Okay, so they just... now, here we go. Codependency. So, how are Adrian Andrews and codependency related? Adrian Andrews' attempted suicide was a few days after the death of Celeste Impacts. And why did Adrian Andrews think about committing suicide? Quite possibly because she had lost her will to live. Lost her will? But why would she... Her pillar of strength, her mentor Celeste Impacts, was gone forever. That's why. Why would that... Is this what they call following someone to the grave? Oh, yep. After her attempted suicide, Adrian Andrews started attending counseling sessions. Yeah, they're playing the song that happens when someone makes a confession in court right now. She is a person who looks for someone she can trust unconditionally. And once she finds that someone, she blindly follows them. You could say I'm kind of the same way a little bit. Without someone to guide her, she feels uneasy and can't carry herself through life. And that's her codependency? When Celeste Impact suddenly committed suicide, the world before her turned pitch dark. That's according to Adrian Andrews herself. Then, that means her super confident attitude. It's just an act of bravado. She's no different than, Petrine. General Petrine. It's all a facade. She's only copying her mentor's behavior to hold herself together. How terrible! Attempted suicide report added to the court record. I don't know why. I mean, I can understand from a story perspective why they added the second one, or we had to present the first one to get the second one. But still, This is why I'm so thorough, ladies and gentlemen. If I just like, oh, you know, we just got this, there's no point in giving this to Edgeworth. I would have completely missed out on this. Attempter, Agent Edges. Reasons, shock from Celeste impacts his suicide. Appearances can be deceiving. It's such a cliche saying, but it's a cliche because it's true. Miss Andrews. To think that behind that unwavering, brave front, she's been hiding this weakness and fear. Alright, well that's everything that we can get from Edgeworth, it looks like, because we've talked, we did everything, we presented everything, we presented all the people, we've examined everything. Alright, so, I'll see you in a little bit, Edgeworth. Detention Center. Alright, let's see if he has anything, I keep wanting to call him Billy Blanks, but he doesn't look like Billy Blanks in the slightest for certain reasons. Guitar case. I don't know. Oh, it's because it kind of looks like a Billy to me. I don't know why. Suicide report. Present. Nope. Nothing at all. What about attempted suicide report? Nope. Nothing at all. It's interesting that he has nothing to say about his own frickin' manager's suicide report. Alright, we presented those two people. Now Celeste Impacts. What do you have to say about her? What's wrong? How much do you know? What do you mean, how much? Mr. Lawyer, I may be your client, but I hope you will keep yourself out of my personal life. No, I would never. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a lunch appointment I have to keep. just, ow! Out of curiosity, how in the hell are you going to go there, on guard? How? You're in detention! Who in the world are you going to eat with? The security guard? Mr. Nick? This Celeste Impacts lady. Somehow I get the feeling she is a very important person in all this. Oh, he moved! Shoot. Alright. Let's go ahead and move, I suppose, to Criminal Affairs Department. I'm singing this so out of sync on purpose. Anyway, I'm going to move to hotel lobby. Blah 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 blah. Guitar case. What do you have to say about this? Probably nothing. Yep, just as useful as always. Windy old bag. Alright, the suicide report. Nope. Nothing at all. I mean, I figure she might as well say, she might have something to say, maybe. Alright, attempted suicide report. Nope, nothing to say about that either. Blah 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 blah. Nope, nothing to say about that either. I know it's like when I'm reviewing these episodes, I notice I keep changing Wendy Old Bag's voice. Like sometimes it's sort of like a pseudo Rita voice, and sometimes it's like a legitimate old lady voice. I can never choose. Okay, nothing to say about this. You two do know each other, but you know how these games work. Oh, that was you're about as useful as a bag of crayons. What? That doesn't make sense. Let's figure. A bag of air? You're about as useful as a bag of air. I don't know. I'm trying to be clever, but clearly that doesn't work. Blah 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 blah. Anyway, we're almost at the end of the episode. Should we present anything just yet? We'll try to present one thing. The guitar case. Oh, this is juicy info. Oh. Hold on, it's pretty famous by now. It stands out because it holds. Okay, so this is actually like new stuff. I wasn't quite sure if I've seen this before, but yeah. Anyway, we'll present the guitar case again at the beginning of the next episode. So without further ado, yeah, how interesting was this episode? I think this was a pretty interesting one. Probably one of the more interesting ones that we've done so far. Aside when Maya was kidnapped, anyway. So anyway, without further ado, I'll see you guys in the next episode.